we're serving those small businesses that are overwhelmingly led by, for example, people of color and or women, those small businesses that are overwhelmingly serving or providing products and services in the hardest hit places across the country.
I developed Spa Day because my daughter had severe eczema when she was a baby. With my background in biochemistry, I was able to create products that helped her.
Our business started back in 1992 when our parents immigrated from Central America. One location grew to a second location and a 28-year-old family business.
I was diagnosed later in life with lupus. I've learned that through my disability that there's still hope. I have the ability to do whatever I want to do as long as I stay focused.
We've had to reduce our staff. We had to limit our interaction with customers. We reduced our menu as well.
Because of COVID-19, I created a really wonderful 75% alcohol hand sanitizer that moisturizes your skin.
I said, well, I have all this fabric. I just began to sew and troubleshoot. I think I've made over 500 masks. I'm just so grateful that Verizon partnered with this.
It's an opportunity for us to continue to pay our employees.
It allows me to make a product that is really in need right now.
At the end of the day, what we're really talking about is not organizations. We're talking about our neighbors. Now is the time to really find it within ourselves to be supportive.
What a way to start today. Up to Speed Live. Here we are, 12:02, April 30th. Getting to the last part of the month here. And, earlier today we announced we extended an additional $2.5 million to small business support through the local initiative support corporation list that you heard about there, bringing that total funding, make sure you get the number right here, up to a potential of $7.5 million. That's how we're helping small businesses through Pay It Forward Live. That's why we talk about it so much. And there's another one of those tonight that is just awesome to see how those come together, and they're helping people in our communities when they need it most. So setting the stage for today, we've got Christy and Joe with us. We had a lot of questions yesterday when Christy was talking about the return to our new business as usual. As always, hit us with your questions. Email us live@verizon.com. We're looking at those coming in, and you see that we'll be using some more of them today. So let's not waste any more of that precious time, and let's get over to Christy for a quick update before we go, in her words, a lightning round of questions again today. Christy, how are you?
I'm great, Jeremy. Thanks so much for having me here again today on Up to Speed, and looking forward to chatting with all the V-teamers that are out there. And I just want to say that video was so inspirational and just keeps reminding me of the power of humanity and our ability to be creative and find ways to help each other in times of need. So what a great opening. What I was going to do is just very briefly recap the three phases that I talked about yesterday, and then turn it right over to you, Jeremy, to hit us with some questions. So just to remind everybody, yesterday I shared that, as Joe, Russo, and I have been leading the crisis response for Verizon with Hans and the VLC, and Joe with our Emergency Operations Center, we've really thought about this in three phases. January to March, we were really organizing and reacting to the crisis. We activated our Asia team, our Europe team, our US team. We put all of our COVID oversight policies in place. And then we moved into where we are today, which is our adjusted state. We've got many of our employees working from home. We have many of our frontline employees that are still on site working in modified ways, whether it's touchless retail or our Tech C protocols for new dispatch procedures. And that's been working really well. And we've been complying with shelter in place and government mandates that they've provided us. We're now heading to the next phase, and we're calling this our return to the new business as usual. And we are doing a lot of work this month to be ready for that phase to start in June. And that's because we have countries around the world and states and cities and counties within the United States changing their guidance around COVID. They're either releasing emergency orders, releasing stay-at-home and shelter-in-place provisions. They're allowing businesses to reopen. So we need to be ready with a plan for what does that mean for Verizon. And so we're taking a couple of steps here. We're defining which offices we're going to reopen. we're establishing what are going to be those on-site protocols when people have to physically come to our office or physically go to another person's office. That's going to complement the work we've already done with touchless retail and the on-site dispatch protocols that we've shifted. And we're going to continue to evaluate those and take those innovations and expand them. And then we're looking through all of the work groups and trying to identify which ones have to return to the office, which ones should continue to work from home, and which ones is it going to be a hybrid. You're going to be primarily one or the other with maybe some touch points in the office. And then against that backdrop, we'll take a look at all of our COVID-related policies, make sure they're updated to reflect that new reality, and we'll be ready to go by June 1st. So that's the backdrop. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Jeremy, to hit us up with some questions.
All right. Thank you, Christy. And like Christy mentioned, we've got Joe on the line with us as well. Christy, I want to start with this one because it seems to be top of mind. I know as I watch the news throughout the day, you keep seeing states and countries saying they're going to remove their shelter-in-place orders. How are we actually looking at that and coordinating the different office locations and determining what we'll do as a company?
That's very great observation on our employees' part. And I think that's what makes managing through this crisis so challenging. The disease is spreading through different regions of the world or concentrating in different parts of a given country. And so as governments figure out how they're dealing with this, in some cases, they're implementing unilateral policies, like an entire country may be closed. And in some cases, they're leaving that to local jurisdictions. And so when Joe offers his insight, he has an entire emergency oversight organization that looks at continuity and event management around the world. So we are tracking that at a municipality level. But even then, when a municipality says we are releasing our shelter-in-place provisions, that doesn't mean the same thing everywhere. So we're having to dig deeper into, does that just mean public parks? Does that mean small businesses, all businesses, large gatherings, our school and other support service and facilities being made available? So we're designing a set of solutions that we will then implement. And it's possible we have a country that's reopening, like China, which it is right now, and we're working closely with our teams there to follow the protocols and procedures in place in China, along with the ones we've designed for Verizon. And then we have other parts of the world that still have shelter-in-place provisions, like India and many parts of the United States and many parts of Europe. So people should anticipate that we will now move to a stage after June where some parts of the company might be reopened and return to the office, and some will be in a continued adjusted state.
Christy, thanks for that. Joe, that brings to question the next question that we've got from a few different people. Malachi down in Hanover, Maryland, Divya in New Jersey. Have we put any thoughts into what the workspace will look like? Will we still work in the community office setup, the open workplace that we have today in so many of our locations?
It's a great question. Thanks, Jeremy. So John Vasquez, who runs our real estate portfolio, and I have a team that we're leading looking exactly at this. And it's not one answer. As Christy said, we anticipate opening office spaces in a wave by wave based on the needs of our business and employees. And there are different office space configurations, as one of the questions mentioned. We have an open floor plan space where we share desks, et cetera. Some are more assigned desk locations. So we're looking at all of our offices, all of the different configurations that we have, and then understanding and overlaying the guidance we're getting from the CDC, from state, local, and federal governments and countries, to understand what is the safest way to reopen those facilities and gradually let people work from them. So we do anticipate following social distancing, which means we won't be able to use all of our desks. We do anticipate changing our cleaning protocols, limiting some of our services like cafeterias and gyms and things like that to make sure that we're following social distancing guidelines. So there's a myriad of different activities underway to make sure that by the end of May, for every single office that we have where we're going to let people back in, we have very good plans before people enter the building, as they're entering the building, and then once they get into the building, how they'll be seated and work the flow around the building so that everybody is safe and that we're following all of the guidance around social distancing.
Joe, follow up on that one from Luke down in Cary, North Carolina on the business group team. Any conversations about providing a request if someone says they want to be remote or hybrid, or how that will work into the plan?
Yeah, so as Christy said, we're starting right now to try to identify those employees that really need to work from the office, those employees who are best continuing to work from home. And then there's a group in the middle who might need to come to the office for certain things. So we're in the process with the leaders around the business doing that identification. And we expect that we'll get to a place where once we've determined what functions we expect to start returning to the office gradually, we're going to have conversations with employees about where they are and their own personal, underlying conditions or personal issues that we'll have to deal with there as well. So I want the employees to know we're certainly not blind to that. We understand that every individual has certain circumstances that we will certainly have to care for. And we're revamping our policies, as Christy said, to cover some of those situations.
Joe, thank you. And Christy leads me to my next question. This is on the top of mind for a lot of employees who have families or have kids. If they have children who may be immune compromised, how are we going to work around those folks? Jason wants to know that from South Lake, Texas.
Thanks for that question. And I would say lots of employees have written me directly on that, or the Ask Christy box, and thanks for bringing that question to the forum today. I think a couple of things. First, we are following closely where our states and countries around the world going to be reopening their school systems or their daycare facilities or other care facilities. It's possible there's an elder care situation and such. And so to the extent that those continue to be shut down, then we will continue to make sure we understand what support we need to provide to our employees, whether that's flexibility to work from home or whether that's a continuation of caregiver leave policies. So we have a team in place right now evaluating that. And suffice to say, we'll approach that with the same values and lens that we approached putting this protocol set in place, which is we want all of our employees to be able to contribute, and we want to continue to keep our customers connected. And with the way we've been working together, we're going to find a way forward to do that. We don't have good line of sight to when districts are going to reopen their schools. And I think a lot of kids are hanging in the balance too, wondering if they're going to get to go back to school. And you see a lot of dialogue already about not just what's going to happen with the rest of this school year, but what's going to happen in the fall. And so Joe and I don't pretend to have a crystal ball. And what we want to make sure the V-teamers here is we're working through with the information we have as best as we can, how to keep people safe, how to make sure our employees can contribute, that we can keep our business running. And when we make these decisions, we'll have dialogue and we'll have time so people have advance notice and time to plan. And some of you have come forward and already shared some insights with your supervisor or your HR manager, and that's incredibly helpful also.
Christy, thanks for that. I want to get a bit of clarification from Joe on this, or really just putting it out there again for folks. The folks who are union represented, our associates out there who are now garaging from home, they're coming up with these new solutions like FiOS in a box to get our customers connected. Tell me more about the agreements that you reached with the unions and what that means for them, please.
Okay, yeah, and yesterday you heard Christy mention as we move into this third phase of the new business as usual, we kind of made an announcement that we're going to continue to work from home in that phase through May as we build all of these new protocols and new policies and really understand what the office space will look like. While we were doing that, our current agreements with the union for work from home and home garaging were set to expire today. So with great partnership with the unions, we got agreement to extend the work from home and home garaging through the month of June. It doesn't mean that we will necessarily be in that operating model through the month of June, but it gives us the flexibility now with our employees to make decisions through May and June on how we want to operate, whether it's a work from home or a hybrid or an office-based environment.
Thank you, Joe. Christy and Joe, this one's going to be a hybrid for both of you. Kelly Jean McKay down in Temple Terrace, Florida, who's on the business group team, wants to know, travel's part of their role as well as visiting customer facilities. What approach are we going to take? What will travel look like? What will company events look like? Christy, start with you on that.
Great, thanks for that. Lots of questions around travel and customer support. So let me take the travel and the meeting side. We've got a team working to understand what are the travel restrictions around the world as well as within country. And then what do we want our travel policy against that backdrop to be? Right now we have, basically shut down travel. So as again, we begin to think about returning to a new BAU for the June timeframe, we want to update our view of those travel policies. So that people should stay tuned for. In that context, we will also put parameters and guidance around travel, meetings, and events. And so teams are at work on that. We don't have the final answer here, but suffice to say it'll comply with guidelines provided by governments and jurisdictions. And then it will have a lens applied to it of what do we think is business essential. And I think we won't get back to travel and meeting levels and sizes that we had before March, because we still know that we're going to be living with coronavirus without a vaccine and without a cure for at least what we believe will be through 2020. And so that will weigh in the background of how much travel and what kind of meeting size and things like that we authorize. And let me let Joe talk about how we want to have our facility protocols and other things apply to those visits.
Yeah, well, if I understand Kelly Jean's question correctly as well, she's someone who must visit customers either to service or sell those sell products to those customers, and that is an added dimension as well, because we have to make sure that, number one, those customers are ready to receive us, that they have proper protocols in place to make sure that our employees are safe if they were to go into a customer facility. So we are working on defining a bit of a minimum standard that we would want to make sure is in place if we were going to visit customers and enter their facilities. We're using those same guidelines for those visitors that come into our facilities as well. We want to make sure that they're following our guidelines. So that's an added level of complexity that we will continue to define and use the month of May to finalize those as we start to enter June. The other thing I would just encourage all of our sales and service teams that are out there who normally would be traveling to see customers is continue to virtually connect with them. I know it's really important for our customers to know that we're there for them and that we are open. So I just wanted to add that as well to this question, is to make sure that we're continuing to do that in this time of work from home.
Joe, thank you for that. Next question, Joe, I'll stick with you for this one. Work from home continues, and you guys have been clear about that. Michael Sams wants to know, how should they go about getting any of that extra needed office equipment they may need? A mouse, docking hub, second screen, or even just regular office supplies?
Yep. So a couple weeks ago, we actually opened up our Staples catalog and some of our other catalogs for employees to go through a process. It's on the resource page. You can read up on it, on how to arrange for a ship to home for office supplies and some other equipment. So if you go to the resource page, you can find those instructions. And we put some controls around it to make sure that people are getting the right stuff. But you now have the ability to ship directly to your home for office supplies and some technology equipment as well.
Good to know. You can find that, like Joe mentioned, on the resource page, more on Inside Verizon and how you can get all these resources in a minute. Christy, a question from an employee who says he tested positive and recovered, thankfully. What will happen with those employees? How will they be treated? What's their return to work looking like?
Great question. And I think in general, we get a lot of questions about testing. So first, for folks that have recovered from coronavirus, and we already have a return to the office parameters that are out on our COVID webpage. So you can see that there's 3 specific criteria, and I won't rattle them off here, but they are specifics about number of days after the COVID symptoms or the positive test, no fever, no symptoms. And we look for that to be for an extended period of time. And so there's specific information about that on the coronavirus webpage that we're using already, because we have employees that have recovered and they're in some of our on-site roles that are still going on, and we've applied those. So we have policy around that. It's out on the webpage. It has those 3 criteria. Second, with regard to testing, a lot of employees.
We will come back to Christy in a moment there. So we'll finish up that question with Christy when she rejoins us. Joe, when we're looking at everything, what's your message to folks when they're saying, what about this? What about that? How do they need to know what information they're going to get next from the company?
Yeah, so it's a great question, because I know everybody is looking for the answer specifically for them. So here's my message. My message is that we won't surprise folks, right? We will give you certainly adequate time to understand if we're looking to make a change in your work from home environment or the way you work over the next several weeks. But for many employees, we anticipate that there won't be a big change come end of May necessarily. We'll in many cases continue to work from home. But the best thing to do is, for the overall guidance and questions, use the resource page. We update it all the time with new policies and new answers, new ways of communicating to employees are put on the resource page. But when we get down to individuals, that communication will happen between supervisors and managers and the employees. So as we move through the month and we make some decisions there, look for communication between you and your supervisor and manager as we make decisions about individuals.
Joe, thank you so much today. And Christy, any wrap up on that last question you had, and then a wrap up for the day for us, please?
Yeah, sorry I cut out there, but I wanted to just comment. Lots of people asking about testing. And so what we would just say right now is there is not testing available at scale or with the degree of accuracy that it could be used in any way to do massive testing to let people come into our premises or not. So people should just not anticipate that's something we're looking to implement for the June timeframe. We'll monitor closely those developments. We're looking at and also benchmarking with all the other large industrial companies, looking at protocols and recommendations from the CDC, as well as from any other guidelines the government will provide us with, so that you can rest assured we have the most available protocols for safety coming into the workplace. My other closing thoughts for everyone is keep the questions coming, but also keep keep the patience and keep understanding that we are living through a crisis and we're developing a new normal as we evolve. And it's going to be the kind of thing we get through by working together and trusting each other and coming up with and continuing to solution this so that we keep people safe and healthy and we keep our customers connected at a time when society is counting on us more than ever. So thanks to the V-Teamers and Jeremy for all the questions today.
Well, Christy, Joe, thank you so much. Christy and Hans will be back with us again tomorrow as they're going to review the results of the pulse survey that we had at the beginning of the week. So looking forward to hearing about that. But thank you both. And both mentioned a lot of resources out there for folks. I want to remind folks, you can go to VZ Web, you can go to the street, and go to InsideVerizon.com. Also, if you're on the go from any device, we have an app. Just go search for Inside Verizon on either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. I love it because I can get the notifications when things hit right on my devices, so it tells me when to go look at that. As we're wrapping up today, I do want to send some thanks out. If we go to the next slide here, this is a shot from the folks over at Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. Yesterday, we made an announcement along with iHeartMedia as part of a cross-carry initiative to donate tens of thousands of smartphone chargers to hospitals across the nation in some of the hardest hit cities to let patients use to charge their devices, let families use. This is a shot, some of our chargers hitting the shipment docks there to go to those folks because we all know losing the ability to communicate with friends and family right now would be the worst thing ever. So glad that we could help those folks out and along with iHeartMedia. So I want to send a thank you out to all of the healthcare workers who are connecting families in new and different ways. Also, looking ahead, I mentioned tomorrow, Hans and Christy will be back. We also have Wellness Friday. guru, Abby Wambach and Glennon Doyle. They'll join us after the Up to Speed Live tomorrow. They're going to talk about parenting, how their family's adjusting, and much more. Don't want to miss that. A lot of good conversation to be had there. I'm looking forward to it. And then tonight, well, Thursday, it is Pay It Forward Live. We'll be streaming live from Janelle Monáe's living room. As Verizon streams that on Twitter and across a few different ways. That kicks off at 8 p.m. tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific. As we look ahead to that, you can always get that on Verizon's Twitter in support of America's small businesses. So I want to leave you with another reminder of the folks who we are helping through this Pay It Forward Live. We'll see you again tomorrow at noon. Have a good day, everybody.
Coming to the office today, there are closed signs on most of the businesses. Doors are locked, lights are off, and it's empty.
What I miss most is the people. Not only is it a coffee house, but it really is our meeting place.
If we were to close, we don't just close as a restaurant, we close as a community.
My business means the world to me.
I've always envisioned being able to let my business be a training hub for young women.
We have art and crafts made by local refugees that we helped resettle to Phoenix.
It's an opportunity for us to continue to pay our employees.
It's really been a godsend.
It will absolutely save our business.
And I'm just so grateful that Verizon partnered with us to Pay It Forward.
We miss you all and look forward to seeing you soon.